Hello everybody and welcome back to Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson, and today I have a video that I'm going to be making based on a request by one of my viewers, and I think it's a great time to get this video in because I have a plant that is going crazy and I need to get to propagating. Yes, I was asked by a viewer if I would make a video about propagating Monstera standleyana Albo Variegata. And well, above me here is the top of my Monstera standleyana Albo Variegata that is just going crazy. It is over 3 meters tall and I've only had it a month and it has grown 2 meters in that time on long vines with no leaves at the moment really, but they've got the points, the little tips of where the leaves are going to come out, so I know that's going to come out. I'm not worried about it. One has gone absolutely crazy and I have another 2 at least that are coming up just as quick so that my totem will be filled out with leaves with time. But if I keep letting it carrying on racing out as it is, it's just going to get longer and longer and longer. So I do need to get on and propagate this plant. So perfect time to answer a viewer request, and I'm really glad I can do this. So basically this plant has been very easy for me to care for. I bought it as a 1 meter high plant, thick and bushy, lots of stems. I've had it in my indoor terrace garden here, humidity between 65 and 70%. I repotted it. I will put the link at the end of the video so you can go and see that video of me repotting this plant and how I stake it up. And since then, this plant has just gone crazy. So if I move to the side just a little bit here, this is the stake, the totem that it's on, and you can see it goes up and it's starting to go across all by itself with no support over to the other side here where my Scindapsus pictus exotica is also going crazy and racing that way. But I don't have space for this plant up there and I just want it growing up along this totem. So I'm going to prune it back at the top of the totem, bring it to the camera and show you how I propagate it, because I'm going to actually cut it into 3 or 4 separate propagations because I want to have more chances of success than one. So remember, if you have a piece that's long enough, you will be able to find where the nodes are and cut it into more pieces and make yourself more plants. If you want one long piece, fine, you will have roots on that one piece. See how it goes. Of course, you can always cut back if something happens like with rot, because you'll have more nodes maybe. So let me just go ahead and prune this off and show you what I'm going to do. So in this part of the video, you can't see me, but I've got my scissors and I'm ready to go and chop that baby up. So I'm just going to go in and chop this cutting where it is at the top of the stake here. So they get one long piece to take off, because I can already see that this long piece here has quite a lot of nodes on it and it's perfect for propagation, and the plant will be able to carry on growing up the stake without it. So there we go. I have my wonderful cutting. And now I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with it. And just before I carry on, I just want to show you the bottom of the mother plant so you can see how thick and bushy and beautiful it is and how much it's growing up. This totem here, all the way up with more than one vine. And it's still all the way up to the top of the totem. So now it should bush out some more leaves as it goes up because I've pruned back the top part. So right now you can see I have my cutting here. If I bring it in closer for a minute, just so you can see. So look at that beautiful leaf. Isn't it lovely? And then see the end here. You can see there's a leaf unfurling. Beautiful. And then here there's also a leaf. So I have a leaf there, a leaf here coming out beautifully. and then more stem with potential for more leaves. Here's my cutting from my Monstera standleyana Albo Variegata. Very easy to cut off. Just get your scissors and cut in between two nodes where you have a nice area of internode. Now, this has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of nodes. And if I bring it closer, the nodes are the little brown bubbles along the stem, as you can see here. That is where your plant is going to produce new roots when you propagate it either in water, sphagnum moss, soil, or any other means that you wish to propagate your plant in. And you can see this beautiful leaf here is just on its way out to being bigger. There's one there, there's one at the top, and there are none at the bottom at the moment. But when this is split up into separate cuttings, it will produce roots and it will produce a new vine and it will start producing new leaves. It's very simple, very easy to propagate this plant. So what I'm going to do is show you what I do. To make sure you don't have to worry about if you get a certain amount of rot on your cutting, because that can happen now and again. And if you cut your plant right underneath the nodes and it rots, you're going to lose the nodes because there's no space for you to prune back and give it a second chance. But if you find out the midway between two nodes, which is called the internode, and you prune at that midway point between the two nodes, you know you have at least a few centimeters on either side to help this cutting if it should start rotting at the bottom where it needs to callus over. So you can give it a second chance or a third chance or a fourth chance and so on. So always just cut directly the same distance from the bottom node and the top node, and that is the perfect spot to make your first cutting. So we're going to go ahead and get my scissors, and in between these two, I'm going to cut, and it's going to drop on the floor because I'm not an octopus, but that doesn't matter. It's nothing to break, and it's a carpet, so I'll be able to pick it up in a moment. So here we go. That's the first one done. So what do? You carry on and do the same here. Nodes here, nodes there. That is the potential for another two plants. I want to cut directly in between those two as so. So this is actually where it starts getting more interesting because I have a node here that already has produced a lovely leaf, and I have a node here where there's a lovely little leaf just about to come out as well. So I know if I cut between these two, I will have two cuttings, and this time I don't want to drop it on the floor because the leaf might snap. So I'll do it this way. So if I cut between these two, I have now made me one cutting here with a beautiful leaf and a second cutting here with a beautiful leaf. Two. If I wanted to keep this like this, I could propagate that. It will get roots at the bottom and I'll have two leaves already. But I want as many roots as possible. I think you should think more about going for the roots rather than going for the leaves in the beginning, because the more roots you have, the more plants you'll have, the more bushy a plant you'll be able to produce, the more chances you'll have for success, and you're just going to love it in the end. So instead of this just being two, I'm also going to do another cut and make this into three. So once again on the stem, find the midway between that node and that node. This time it helps because I can see there's a leaf and there's a leaf there. So I'm going to go here. Oi! Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I just snipped it before I was ready. Anyway, there's the last piece. I'm just going to collect all the others so you can see all my cuttings. Okay, well, here we go. So there's my first cutting with a leaf. There's my second cutting with a leaf. There's my third cutting with a leaf. And there's my fourth cutting, which is a stem without any leaves, but I don't have to worry because I know it will produce leaves. So now, just as quick and easy as that, I have created the possibility of 4 more plants out of one top stem I took off my gigantically tall vining Monstera standleyana Albo Variegata, and 3 of these cuttings already have a leaf on them, and the last one here has a leaf coming out. I'm holding it upside down, I can see, because I can actually see, I hope you can see that, there's already a leaf on its way out of that cutting too. So I have basically got 4 cuttings, each with a leaf on it already, that just need to produce roots. So to do that, I am going to put these in water, and I'm sure within a month, they will have all produced roots for me. And I can leave them to root out for at least, well, until the roots get to about 2, 3, 4 inches. Then they'll be ready to be potted either together or in separate pots to make different plants. If you pot them together around a totem, you're going to get the effect as I'm having with my plant behind me now, with lots more vines growing up in one go, instead of just one long thin vine. So that is how easy it was. You don't have to worry about this. You don't have to fuss about this. You just have to think, oh, my plant's getting long. I'm going to go in and cut that off on an internode. I can see there are nodes here. I can see I have the potential for more plants than one, or I can keep it as one plant, cut those internodes, put it in some water, put it in soil if you're going to be making sure that you keep it moist constantly but not soggy, or sphagnum moss, or paper, or however you want to do it, as long as you keep the moisture around the nodes so that they produce roots. You can do it in so many different ways. Keep your plant in a bright indirect position so that it can get the power and the energy of the sun, so that it can photosynthesize and produce chlorophyll and grow. If you keep it in a dark area, it's not going to be able to grow as easily, okay? So put it in a bright indirect position. Keep it at a good temperature in your house, a warm temperature and a good humidity. Normal house humidity from 50 to 75 is really good. The 60 to 75, 80 is the best for most plants, not all, but most. And then you will get a better and quicker outcome. My cuttings have just taken off with no problem. All of them, every single one has been an absolute success. I've had no problems with this plant whatsoever. So I've got a whole handful. Talk about green fingers, huh? That is literally green fingers. That's all I have for you for this video. Easy peasy. Got yourself a Monstera standleyana Albo Variegata, and it's getting leggy. Go in and chop it up, make yourself some cuttings, make yourself some new plants, make yourself happy. Easy peasy. So now I'm going to go ahead and put these in a vase with water, and I will watch them grow. So there we go. I've just put all my cuttings into this beautiful little see-through glass vase so that I can see what's going on. I can see when the roots start coming out in a couple of weeks. And it's important to have something that's see-through. It can be anything that's see-through in any color, as long as it's see-through and you can see what's going on, because you're going to need to change the water if it starts getting gungy or slimy or brown or yellowing or anything, or if you see any rot on any of the stems, you're going to have to go in and cut that off and try and give that plant another chance to carry on. And as you can see with all of mine, they've got at least an inch under every single node section for me to have some space to keep this plant going if there should come any rot in the bottom. But I would suggest changing out the water as soon as you see it start getting a bit, miscolored, or if it has any kind of smell, which is some kind of rot, make sure you clean that out and get rid of that as quickly as possible. If the water stays clear and nice, you don't have to worry about going in and changing it all the time. Just keep your eyes peeled. Just watch what's going on with your plants. And when the roots start coming out, you're just going to feel fantastic because you achieved this and you've managed to create clones of your mother plant. And if your mother plant's beautiful, then her beautiful little clones are going to be lovely too. So that is it basically. I just chop them off, chop them in between the internodes and put them in water, and now it's a waiting game. And it really shouldn't be that long with this plant. I usually leave mine in glass vases like this next to my humidifier where there's light shining down, and yeah, they just seem to be very happy there. And I have them as well because I'm constantly looking at my humidifier in the middle of the room, checking the humidity and checking there's enough water in it and all the other things that are going on around it. So then I will never forget this little glass vase with these cuttings in it. If you have it at the back or in amongst lots of big other plants, you could forget it. The water level could go down too low or it could dry out completely, depending on how long you've left it. But just keep your cuttings somewhere where you'll be able to see them. It's also enjoyable to look at them and their leaves. These leaves are going to unfurl and grow as these cuttings grow roots as well. So that's going to be really exciting. And the ones that have even smaller leaves, they're going to come out and it's going to look great. So anyway, that's all I have for you for this video. If you have any comments, any suggestions, any ideas about how to propagate and what to do and what you do, please share them below because it's great for me and it's great for everybody else. There are so many different ways, so many different ideas to propagate plants, and it's really nice to share our ideas with each other and help each other out to find and discover new ways of doing things. So that would be really, really great. Thank you very much. But anyway, all I have to say now is thank you very much once again for watching Gardens and Crystals with me, Wesley Peterson. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know when my next video will be uploaded. And I will see you in another video very, very soon. Goodbye.